Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Neecee Lexy. In today's episode, I have the amazing Icy Blue, which I'm going to be introducing to you guys here for the first time, welcoming her to our live recording interview. However, she is not a stranger in the Neecee Lexy platform. She has been here before. We interviewed her back in 2018, and I'm super excited to be having her back. So for those who don't know who Icy Blue is, she's a model. She's an actress. She's a brand strategist. She is the boss lady, the go-getter, and the media influencer. So without further ado, welcome to Neecee Lexy. Icy Blue. How are you doing?
Well, that cat's out the bag. Hello, everybody. Anyway, I usually don't use my legal name on pretty much any platform except for like credits and stuff, because I mean, if you're opening an IMDb page, you have to. Yeah. Doing okay. I mean, I've mostly been settling off of like more of the acting modeling stuff, because I mean, COVID-19 happened and you can't really do much during that whole situation. So yeah. It was mostly live streaming, and I've been live streaming since I think 2017 at this point.
Yeah.
And I joined an app 3 years ago, and I've been continuously just income that comes in monthly. And then I just this year was like, okay, I'll go on TikTok. But it wasn't even for me. Like, a friend said, I need more people on TikTok to follow me and stuff. And I was like, sure, why not? And then I heard that they have live streaming, and I'm like, well, I've been doing that for how long already?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll give it a shot. And I needed to get 1,000 followers. So, you know, you do all the strategies of getting more people to follow you, whether it's posting content, which I'm too lazy to do, or you do follow for follow just to get a certain amount of followers. So I hit my 1,000, and then I went live. And my live streaming is Song Request Live, where I sing whatever people want me to sing. However, not really, because I think my music is limited to like 2019 and before, because I don't listen to the radio, I listen to Spotify. And if a magical situation happens where I run out of the 3,000 plus songs that are on my own playlist, they'll say, here's something you might like. And I'm like, okay, I'll add that, sure.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So yeah, the live streaming on TikTok has forced me to actually listen to stuff that I otherwise wouldn't be looking for. So
how is
I'm like,
so far
yeah,
for
I'm
you?
about it. Huh?
How is the TikTok so far for you, the platform itself?
It has hits and misses. I mean, the representation of people of color on my TikTok is probably a lot more than other people's, because I look for it. Because, I mean, as a self-proclaimed ally, I mean, I'm not going to call myself a proper ally until someone really, like, acknowledges that I'm trying to do what is good for them, because you never want to push your help on other people, right? So when I was seeing how people of color on TikTok were being kind of snowballed by white creators, like, because TikTok wasn't pushing them on the algorithm, and it felt like their content wasn't being seen as much. So as soon as I saw one video on that, I was looking up every person possible who was talking about the same issue, and was looking into like ways that I could increase their visibility, whether it's duetting them, interacting with their content, following them, and all that good stuff. So it's a big part of why TikTok is like a hit and miss for me. The fact that you have to seek out that information. Like, when it came to the whole situation with the residential school systems, where they're like, oh, we found all these bodies, and everyone's so shocked and posting about it like it's the biggest news in the world. I'm like, I have a degree in social work. I knew about this stuff by then. And then when I was in high school, I had to learn about the Indian Act in law class, and I was pissed off at it. I'm like, well, why don't they get rid of it? And their response is, well, there's no way to properly replace the legislation that will still protect the interest of Indigenous people in Canada.
Yeah, it's really sad though, and for them to also like not only discover the bodies, but it's still to go through the trauma, because people are still healing and there's a lot of discussion need to be made. So it is a sensitive topic to be discussing as well, and I don't even know what to say at this point. It's like we are in a land where you're kind of escaping, especially for people that are coming from other countries to find home here, but then to go through hearing all this stuff that happened to them is really sad as well.
100%. And that's one of the reasons why, to be a good ally, you have to at least be willing to listen. And then if they ask for your help, they ask for you to do something to take a step forward, that you do that due diligence as an ally. So
for sure,
that's what I'm trying to do. That's where I don't like TikTok. Where I do like TikTok is I am seeing people all around the world putting content out that I genuinely enjoy, and I'm learning a lot about different places around the world. Like, there's this guy on there who freaks out every time he finds out about something that's in North America that's not there. He goes, "You open your windows by going up and down? Why not they open outward?" And I'm just like, this is a new thing? I was so surprised that was like such a difference.
Continue.
Well, yeah, so TikTok has a great platform for international people to be able to reach other parts of the world. So I'm seeing creators in the UK, I'm seeing creators from Australia, New Zealand, and it's really fun and interesting to see that stuff. And it's also kind of disconcerting to see the certain levels of racism around the world, whether it's in the US, which, I mean, we see that all the time. But now I'm seeing a lot of the time where these trends that are coming in are extremely racist, and they're coming from like Russia. And I'm not trying to say all Russian people are like that, but I'm saying I'm seeing a whole new world of content that I otherwise wouldn't even know existed.
Yeah, but so as a content creator, obviously a lot of times, if being an influencer, there's a lot of huge responsibility of the stuff that you post, because you have audience, you have people that are looking up to you. What would you say would be like an ideal way for people to be very aware of not to mislead people as a content creator?
Well, I think one of the biggest aspects of being a creator is transparency. If you are being supported by a brand, tell us. If you're wearing that brand consistently in your videos and you're just saying, "Oh, I bought it," and all that stuff, and then I'm acting like it's the best brand ever, you better be able to prove that it is the best brand ever. Like, if you're just being paid to wear the stuff and then you're taking it off at the end of the day and you're covered in rashes, I want to know about it. I need to know that transparency. If someone is buying $1,000 worth of Shein clothes, like that huge Shein Armageddon that happened on TikTok where people were spending $1,000 on Shein, I want to know, are you actually going to wear those clothes, or are you just buying them for a video? Because if that's the case, you are reinstituting the need for fast fashion as an influencer, when there are people who actually need fast fashion in low-income families who can't afford to buy brands that have more ethical practices. And we're not trying to belittle or demean the people who can't afford the best practice clothing, but you as an influencer, you as someone who's spending $1,000 on clothes, you could buy $1,000 of a brand that is sustainable, trying to help with labor practices. Like, I bought Shein, but I bought like five outfits. That's it. I didn't go crazy over it. And that was my version of a haul. And let me tell you, those clothes are going to go into circulation until they're falling off my body, because that's how I am.
I know.
And I don't believe that you should be in this culture where you can't recycle clothes or wear clothes more than once. I mean, if you're not going to be like, I'm going to wear clothes like this outfit once a month and then I'm going to wear it again afterwards. If you have enough clothes for that, fine, good. Cycle through all of your clothes until you literally have nothing left. You have to do all the laundry and you're in that sweat stained shirt that you wear just for sleep. And that is literally the default, especially for me. I try to not be the one, I'm going to do laundry all the time because, I mean, that's going to waste water, obviously. And second, I have a lot of clothes. I need to make sure that I'm wearing all of those different clothes and justifying my purchases. It's the same thing with like my nail polish. I wear nail polish and I change it every week.
Yeah.
By default, I change it every week.
In regards to the clothing, I feel like it's very necessary to know that, you know, you can multi-wear your clothes a lot, and then sometimes even get pieces that you can swap and mix and match things. So as a stylist, I tend to do that a lot, just making sure that, like, you know, it doesn't always have to be a branded clothes. It could be like a one non-branded, mix it with another one, and still it's not about the brand, it's about the style at the end of the day. How are you styling?
Of course.
Yeah.
But then you also see, like, due to social media, where they'll make fun of previous trends, and someone who bought that outfit probably at the beginning of the trend and only got to wear it once is then being shamed into keeping something because it's considered to be off fashion. But fashion is always changing and it's always evolving, and there's always ways that things will come back. So honestly, the best way to promote fashion is wear it your way. Wear it the way that you feel like you're representing your best interest in yourself. Don't just copy fashion trends that are around the world, because they'll always change and things will always go out of style. And I will wear Crocs and defend them till the day I die because they're comfy, even though they're the most hideous things on the planet.
It's like, do you, boo-boo?
Exactly. Like, don't criticize other people's fashion choices, because you don't know where they're going, you don't know what's happening in their life, and more importantly, you want to encourage people to reuse the clothes that they have, even when it's considered to be not in fashion anymore.
That's so true. Thanks for that insight. So now I just want to take our topic to talk more about you as an actress.
Of course.
How did you get started into the acting game? Like, take us back. And
so one of my friends was posting about that they're doing a filming of a indie film and they need background extras, and I said, okay, that sounds interesting. How much are they paying? And this is me starting out, right? So I have no idea what going rates are. I don't know how long I'm going to be there. And I'm just happy to make a little quick cash and do something fun, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, it's $50 and you get food.
Yeah.
So to me, food is always a good thing for me, because like I've been on sets as a background extra who got paid per hour and the food's horrible. So when it's a smaller film and they're saying, we'll pay you $50, but we'll also give you food, and it's like hardcore catered, beautiful food that like will sustain you for the day. I'm okay with that.
It's like, I appreciate it. Thank you for taking care of me.
I appreciate it. And it was a really fun experience. I did it with one of my friends and we were on set. I got to fake chugging a giant bottle of liquor, because obviously I would never do that IRL, because you can, like, don't chug vodka. You could do a shot, but don't chug vodka. Or whiskey. I mean, you do you, boo-boo, but not for a film.
Yeah, that's true. So how many of your current film have you been a part of, and where can we see it?
Oh God, I've been a background extra in so many different shows. I've been in The Expanse. I was in Handmaid's Tale quite a few times. Handmaid's Tale, like, I don't even know how many times at this point, to the point where I just know I never want to be on that set again. Don't kill me, executive producers. Just understand everyone's different. Anyway, I was on Killjoys, I was on Molly's Game, Fragile Minds, oh God, Suits, the list goes on and on and on. Oh, Shadow Hunters, I was a Steely, which is like a fairy pixie creature.
Yeah.
I was in Ginny in Georgia as one of the high school students. Yeah, I know a lot of the Netflix shows I've actually been on, and I
actually love that show. I watched it. The Ginny in Georgia.
It was a really interesting set to be on, and the concept of the show, I didn't have any idea when I went on set, and then I watched the series and I'm like, I love how dark this is.
Yeah, it's a very interesting TV show. It was like number one in Canada, I believe, in Netflix. It just came out. It was an interesting shot. So congratulations on all the stuff that you've been a part of it. Obviously, you've been in a lot of big names productions. Let's move into the modeling. You've been featured in a lot of fashion shows, also being in Toronto Sun multiple times.
God, at this point, I don't even know how many times, because I get surprise messages from Jack Boland being like, look who's Sunshine Girl again. And I'm like, didn't they reuse this like 8 times already? Okay.
Yeah, so I know me and you go with the fashion thing, we go way back. And we actually
we met on a music video. Yeah, we met on a music video that never actually ended up using us. And we bonded over K-pop.
Yes.
Of all things.
K-pop sisters.
사랑해.
Mini hearts. Yeah. So tell me about, how has your experience been in the modeling industry? What would be like one of your best moments?
Okay, so the fashion shows surprisingly weren't my favorite.
Yeah.
It was more like when we went for publications. I got published in Glamoria with the gold set. I mean, if you want to display that, you can. It's fine in the edits.
Yeah.
I also been in Bellissima Bridal with a custom bride dress, which was absolutely gorgeous. And then I was in Number 8 magazine wearing this white ethereal dress, wearing like period.
Is that the one you guys did it in the garden?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is beautiful. I love that.
I fell in love with it. And honestly, the truth about that shoot is I was the most unconfident on that set than I have ever been on any of the others, because I had been so out of the game. Like my last fashion show was in 2018, and here they're asking me to do something for publication in July of 2019. That's several months of no movement, right? Because I was more leaning over to live streaming on Mico, because that's like my main place, and it was making me a substantial income. Honestly, I was paying my rent with the cost, with the amount that I was earning from live streaming. At this point now, I'm pretty much using it as a side hustle, so it's not as often. But I have been dabbling back into modeling again, but more like because people have been insisting that they want to work with me versus me like seeking out jobs at this point, which was really nice. It was nice to be sought out.
Level.
Yeah, it was nice to be sought out versus having to look for work, because as a model, especially in the city of Toronto, it is very difficult. And you would know that better than anyone. I mean, you've been in the modeling industry longer than, God, I was in high school when you were starting the modeling and stuff.
Yes, girl. It's crazy. Starting from 15, going into it, doing like prints, runway, all of that, becoming a designer.
When you became a designer, I think that was your best move, because people will always need clothes, but when it comes to modeling, you could always reuse the same person, but you can never use the same clothes.
True. Yes. So that's the thing. The biggest move I ever made with the fashion, it was moving into styling and designing, and then now just kind of creating my own platform with the media, you know, because I love talking to people and I love all of that stuff. So tell me, with regards to Mico, I know you're a very big on Mico.
Yeah.
Shout out to the boss lady in the making. So how has your experience been on Mico, and what exactly do you do there, and how can people tap in to watch you?
Well, honestly, I've been in Mico since they did a rebranding 3 years ago. And my amazing manager, shout out to the Soleil Talent Agency, woot woot, for bringing me over to an amazing app where I had a lot of friends already from a pre-existing app, and I got to meet a bunch of new friends, and it was a really fun experience. So you can talk to people. I mean, you'd be excellent on it because talking to people is your gift of gab. But there's a lot of things, like there's people who do comedic stuff on there and do PKs where like it's a streamer versus streamer where they do like ridiculous dares and stuff for the one who loses, and it's amusing. And then like there's the low-key ones who are more like artistic, who will do drawings on live, and they'll do artistic stuff. It's beautiful. There are some that'll do like contests and stuff to get more engagement. I particularly am more like low-key. I will game for 8 hours on a Monday because I'll get lost in a video game because I've become a gamer girl. I've become a gamer girl the more I isolate myself. So
what are you currently playing?
Oh, well, I just finished a game yesterday. Like, I beat the entire game. It was it Quest Hunters? Yeah, it was Quest Hunters. And I now have gone back to New World because I was on a hiatus from New World due to the fact that my Wi-Fi here was not as exceptional as I wanted when it comes to streaming. Yeah. So I can't really play New World while I'm streaming, but I will play it when I'm not streaming. And then I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Unite because, I mean, as a kid, I used to love Pokemon. Pikachu!
That was the best phone ringtone that you had. Every time it's like, Pikachu!
Yeah, I remember when my cell phone used to have the notification being Pikachu. I can't find the audio and I want to cry because I want to play it back.
It's amazing. It was one of like my highlight of the day. Every time like I'm around you, I'll hear them like I'm like, Icy, your phone.
I know. And it was like the most recognizable one because no one else would have that notification. Yeah. But I had to grow up, so I had to get a bunch of new phones, and sadly the Pikachu notification has been retired, but maybe I'll bring in that back, or I'll do
and the fact that you're able to like capture the sound tone, that's ridiculous.
I mean, I get a lot of like, maybe you should go into voice acting, but I'm like, good. I love the idea, but I probably more or less applied as like the side hustle concept because I'm already licensed as a mortgage agent. I've been working in the legal field since I was like 14. I'm not going to just throw away all those years of work for a side hustle, you know? Like, if I'm making enough in that side hustle, by all means, but...
No, I was thinking like more of like feature film from like animation with a sound, those kind of things.
I understand that. Yeah, I get that a lot. And I mean, the high pitched animated voices that I can do are pretty much like a good reason why people would always think that. Yeah. But like when I'm working. So so voice acting will have to take a side step for right now.
Are you still also doing I know you recently got your mortgage broker certification, so congrats on that.
Well, mortgage agent, but it's kind of similar.
Yeah. So can you tell us about the experience and how is it so far after completion?
Well, right now I'm mostly working on the administrative side. I haven't really worked on my own personal deals yet, but I think that learning the administrative part is super important because you could be the gift of gab and talk to people and talk their ear off, but if you don't know how to do everything behind the scenes, you're basically going to screw over the same people that you convinced that is a good idea.
That's true. That's very informative. I like that. It's like Learn the back end before you come in the front. That's true.
I mean,
so,
yeah.
I wanted to ask you another thing. Like, how were you able to? I know COVID has been a really downtime for a lot of us. It's like kind of pausing everything that we do, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's like doing our work or things like that. How were you able to navigate and have all this success, obviously, in the live stream, things like that?
So, one, I never really gave up a full-time job as soon as COVID hit. I, in fact, took a job. I hated the job. I ended up quitting by the time things started opening up again so that I could work for a mortgage firm directly, but that fell through. And then I got my full license, and as a result, I joined a brokerage, and now I'm working mostly on the administrative stuff because I do have the boss lady genes from my mama, it comes honestly. She's been working in the legal field for 25 plus years at this point, and working with her is honestly one of the biggest treasures I could have in my life because she is such a good boss and I can learn so much from her.
That's for sure. You're being your mom looks like the lead in the industry, and kind of also like, you know, showing you all the stuff that you need to necessarily like know in order to like be successful in the field. So that's really amazing. Shout out to your mom. For that.
Shout out to the moms.
Yes, the main boss lady. So
she was the OG.
Indeed. I wanted to ask you also about your music industry. Are you recording anything new, anything fresh? What's going on?
I've had a lot of people reach out to me about using their tracks and stuff, but the thing is, I can sing covers until I'm blue in the face 10 hours straight, but my own stuff is like super personal, and I feel a little bit more protective of it. Think of it as like the only thing that I'll ever refer to as a baby to me. So my babies are going to be as sheltered as long as possible until I feel like they're ready for the world, you know? So if that means that I'm releasing stuff that I recorded when I was 20, when I'm 50, I don't care.
Solid.
Because it's more about the enjoyment of the creation of the song and listening to it and finding out like how I was feeling at that point and like the way what I'm trying to convey, and then putting that into a mix that I could listen to on my own. So I'm selfishly listening to my own music, not trying to toot my own horn, but I like knowing the emotion that I'm able to convey in my content.
That's amazing. I wanted to also ask you what some pieces of advice that would you give for anybody that either A, wanted to be a mortgage broker, or B, wanted to be an influencer in the live streaming industry?
Okay, so live streaming, do not treat it like it is a race. It is a marathon. Everyone is running together, but you do it at your own pace. You get to the point where you feel comfortable. Don't ever like tell yourself, oh, I'm not getting a million views like so-and-so. The comparison, of course, can motivate you, but it could also deter you from feeling like you can make an impact at all. And I mean, 15,000 is nothing to sneeze at if you're thinking about if you could put 15,000 people in a room. So I feel utterly thankful that I even have that many, because there are people who are excited just to have 100. And the gratitude that people have should never diminish based on how many followers they have. It should be based on how many people will engage with the content and say, thank you for making my day.
Exactly.
And that has to be your mindset. It's not, will I make money off of this, or will I be famous off of this? It's how many people am I engaging with and making them have a positive experience? Because you can't be selfish about it. You can't go and try to become popular for the fame and then be downtrodden when people don't necessarily like that. They want some sort of genuine connection with you. And I think as a streamer, you really have to pay attention to that connection. Even in this case of parasocial relationships that happen through social media, you still have to treat them like they're your friends, not your fans. And I never try to tell them thank you for being a fan. I said, thank you for being my friends. Or I specialize the ones who follow me back as besties because I follow them back. I engage with their content occasionally. Like, I try to practice what I preach, you know?
That's a solid advice for sure. And I like that, you know, you make them feel like they're part of the growth with you as well, not like a stranger or there's any hierarchy thing going on, for sure.
In terms of the mortgage agency, you have to really understand there will be some math involved. Not like super extensive math, but if you're not one of those people who likes to deal with numbers, you like to deal with people, but you don't particularly want to have to do all the calculations, all of the paperwork, it's not for you. You need to be able to know that there's a lot of meat that goes into being a mortgage agent behind the scenes, outside of just interacting with clients. You have to be able to do the paperwork. You have to be able to know how to do the proper assessments, order the proper insurance. Like, there's a lot of stuff that takes place behind the scenes to make sure that your client is taken care of. And if you're only going to half-ass it, don't go into the field.
Solid answer. I love that. It's like, it's either you're 100% or don't even do bother. For sure. So thank you so much for being here today. We actually learned so much from you, and also, like, you know, learning just from the advice that you shared was obviously showing that you're very wise and sharing your experience with the people that hear. Another thing I wanted to be able to ask you before you leave us is, where can we find you and where can we follow your content and support you?
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to look up my own information on the file.
What is the name?
Me.
Yeah.
I'm Icy Blue, but you can't find me via my screen name. You have to find me via my ID number, which is 6306167. I know that's a mouthful. Don't worry.
I'll make sure to put it in the description.
For her to post it in the socials, right? I have my Icy Blue page on Facebook. If you want to follow that, you could just search Icy Blue Model and you'll find me there.
Yeah.
I have a fan group on there, but I don't really want to call it a fan group. It's the Ice Cubes group. my Ice Cube besties. I love them. They're wonderful. And then TikTok, I'm Icy Blue 1992. Because, I mean, I want everyone to know I am old. Because, you know, like, they love to call us geriatric millennials, and I'm like, let me get my cane. All right.
Yes.
So there's that, and then my Instagram is Miss_Blue_model on Instagram. You can follow me there. Most of the time I'll be posting about like events that are going to be going on Mico, like the thank yous and like the standard weekly photos that I take of after I'm done my live streaming, a photo of what was the outfit of the day, you know.
And when do you usually go live?
So on Mico, the stream is pretty consistent. So at 6 o'clock on Mondays, from 6 to 7 and on, because usually you're only supposed to stream for maybe an hour for the minimum, but it's gaming. You'll lose your mind if you only game for an hour and you're like, I was in the middle of a task. So I'm from 6 p.m. to like whenever I end up stopping gaming because my fingers are numb. So that would be Mondays. Tuesdays, I have usually live houses, which they put me in a big room to perform for a bunch of people. Yeah. In that case, it's 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I usually go live just a little bit earlier to get my makeup and my equipment all ready, if I don't already have it ready. I try to prep in advance, but I still end up being the one to throw on mascara 5 seconds before I go live.
Nice.
And
I just want to give a shout out to your hairstylist, because you lately been looking lit. I love the position.
it's not a hairstylist, it's a hair product. I've been using, was it Ion hair color from Sally's store. This one was the color of jade, but it has faded exponentially at this point. Now it's more of like a turquoisey light blue. It originally started as like a darkish bluish greenish tint, but not like proper emerald, which is the next color of choice.
Love it.
But yeah, all it takes is you putting it on your head if you have enough bleach already there and you've already bleached out the colors. Or if you have, like, let's say a color that's on the color wheel right beside it, you could just throw the color on top and it's fine. You don't need to dye it. Or you don't need to bleach it. You do need to dye it. And then you just touch up your roots, and then that's the basics. I usually have a friend help me out, so there's no given hairstylist. I mean, my one of my best friends did my hair when I did it pink on the top and purple on the bottom, and then another friend helped me out when I did the color here. And it's more like I just switch out people to help me out, whoever's available at the time. So I'm actually going to be going to an official salon on the 28th to go for the emerald green, but before that I've been mostly just going like store-bought from Sally's, but you have to be really particular on it. But the brand is vegan and it's safe on your hair.
I love the fact that, you know what, every now and then I'm just like, okay, what is Blue up to now? It's like new hair color.
Yeah. Well, when I was modeling and doing a lot of the acting stuff, they didn't really give you that leeway. They wanted blondes, they wanted brunettes, they wanted redheads. So when I laid off of that, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna have fun with color. And then I got it hired for photo shoots because I like the hair color. So I was like, well, okay then. I guess I don't really have to be that stringent with my hair color.
Nice.
You know?
That's for sure. So thank you so much. I'll make sure that all your social media content, your Mico live stream code will all gonna be posted in the description below. And make sure you guys follow her on social media, follow her journey and become one of her besties on TikTok as well as Mico. And yeah, so Blue, thank you so much for being here. Likewise, it's always a pleasure having you. And hey, when you come to Toronto, let's meet up.
Doy.
All right, have a good day. Take care.
You too. Bye, love.